Zoot. Zoot. Okay, that didn't work.
All right, I'm ready for action.
All right. Well, we're getting ready to do this here. Now, I got a question for you. I'm getting ready to put the motherboard into the case. Do I want to put all the the mounting posts on the motherboard first, then put it in the case, or put the mounting post in the case first?
Great question. Put the standoffs, those mounting posts, in the case first. Line them up with the motherboard screw hole, then carefully place the motherboard onto them and screw it in. That way, you avoid fumbling with the standoffs while juggling the motherboard. Need a quick rundown on aligning them properly?
No, that's okay. I think I got it. Let me go get the case.
Cool, you got this. Grab that case and let me know when you're ready with Zoot, or if you hit any snags.
Yeah, okay. All right, got the case. They can't see down in there, and it looks like. Yeah, 3 more.
All right, so you're looking at the case and it's ready for those standoffs. But the view's tricky, huh?
Yeah.
Go ahead and screw the standoffs where the motherboard's mounted holes will line up. Check the case's manual for the layout if it's not clear. Want a tip on making sure the motherboard fits perfectly without shorting out? Or are you good to keep going?
I'm good.
Sweet, you're all set then. Just holler Zoot when you're ready for me to jump in with the intro, or let me know if you need a hand with anything else during the build.
Well, we're past the intro. We missed that. I guess you didn't hear me. That's okay. We're doing good.
No worries, we missed the Zoot cue, but we're rolling now. Sounds like you're making solid progress with the build. Anything specific you need help with as you go, or should I just be ready for that end of video plug when you say, okay, well, that's enough?
Giving me away there. Okay, that's not working.
We're vibing on the same wavelength. All right, you're cruising with the build. Just let me know if you hit a snag or need a quick tip, and I'll be ready to drop that plug when you say,
There we go.
okay, well, that's enough. Keep rocking it.
Yeah. I am rocking it right now.
Hell yeah, you're killing it with that build. Keep it rolling, and I'm right here when you need me for a quick tip or that end of video plug.
All right.
What's the next step you're tackling?
Well, right now I'm still putting the standoffs in the case on the last one, so I'll be bringing the motherboard over any second now.
Awesome, you're almost there with the standoff. Once that last one's in, just carefully lower the motherboard onto them. Line up the holes and screw it down gently. Don't over tighten.
Yeah.
Want a quick tip on static safety, or are you good to bring that motherboard over?
I pretty much know to stay grounded.
Sweet, you're all over that static safety. Go ahead and mount that motherboard and let me know how it's going, or if you need a hand with the next step. Ready for that end plug whenever you are.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. That looks nice. Nice.
Yo, sounds like you're stoked with the progress.
Yeah, it's going good. It's going good.
Glad to hear you're cruising through it. With the motherboard in place, you probably want to hook up the power supply or slot in that GPU next, right? Let me know what's up or if you're ready for anything else.
Yeah, I'm just doing a tedious task of putting the screws in.
Yeah, screwing in the motherboard can feel like a patience test. Just take it steady to avoid stripping those screws. You want a quick tip on organizing the cables next, or are you good to keep rocking this?
I'm okay. Something doesn't feel right. Why? Okay. I see. Grabbing the wrong screws there. Brilliant.
Yo, you're powering through those screws. Nice work. Once they're all snug, you might want to start hooking up the power supply or slotting in that GPU to keep the build moving.
Not actually powering through them like you'd think. I go pretty slow. I'm old. I go slow. It may be slow, but I do core work.
No rush. Slow and steady gets that build done right. You're laying down the core work like a pro. Got those screws all set now, or still taking it easy with them?
Yeah, I'm still working on it.
No worries. You're taking your time and nailing it. Still on those motherboard screws, huh? Once they're done, you thinking of tackling the GPU or power supply next? I'm here if you need a quick tip or just want to keep vibing through the build.
Yeah, we're just going through it here. What kind of tip are you thinking about?
Loving the steady progress. Since you're wrapping up the motherboard screws, a solid tip for the next step is to plan your cable management early. When you hook up the power supply or GPU, tuck the cables neatly behind the motherboard tray to keep airflow clean and make the build look slick. Want a specific trick for routing those pesky PSU cables, or ready to move on to the GPU install?
Well, almost ready. I just got to tighten them down now that they're all in. I learned that a long time ago. You don't tighten them all until you get them all in.
Smart move. Getting all the screws in before tightening, that's the way to avoid warping the board. Just give them a gentle snug now, and you should be set. You want to jump to hooking up the power supply or GPU next, or need a quick tip for anything else?
No. Okay. How about you guys? Want a tip?
Flipping the script on me? I love it. All right, for anyone out there building along, here's a tip. When you're tightening motherboard screws, use a cross pattern like an X to evenly secure it and prevent stress on the board. You ready to slot in that GPU or hook up the power supply next? Or got another question for me?
Whew. I am ready for the GPU. Looks like I have to pull some stuff out of the way. So let's see what static. No static
All
at
right,
all.
you're moving on to the GPU. That's the fun part.
No
Yeah,
static
clear
at all.
out any cables or brackets blocking the PCIe slot. Then pop that GPU in and secure it with a screw or clip. Need a quick tip on aligning it properly or checking the power connectors for the GPU?
No, I'm all right. I'm just trying to figure out which guys I need to pull out of here.
No problem, you're on it. Just check the case for those PCIe slot covers. Usually a couple of metal tabs at the back that you unscrew or snap off to make room for the GPU. If you're stuck picking the right one, let me know how many slots your GPU needs or what the case looks like, and I can guide you.
Come on there. Looks like they snap off.
Nice. Those snap-off PCIe slot covers make it easy. Just pop off the ones that line up with your GPU size. Most GPUs need one or two slots. You good to slide the GPU in now, or need a quick pointer on anything else?
I'm all right. I'm going along here. I got to pull out 2 slots, so that's what I'm doing.
You're cruising right along. Popping out those 2 PCIe slot covers should give your GPU plenty of room. Once they're out, you ready to slide the GPU into the PCIe slot and lock it in? Let me know if you need a tip on seating it properly or connecting the power cables.
Yeah, ready. Okay, so.
All right, you're set to slot that GPU in. Line up the GPU's gold contacts with the PCIe slot. Push it in firmly until it clicks, and secure it to the case with a screw. Need a quick check on which power cables to plug into the GPU?
Not
Or you
yet.
got this?
Not yet.
No rush, take your time. You're about to see that GPU, right? If you're still working on getting it lined up, or need a hand with the power connectors or anything else,
I'm off.
just let me know what's up, and I'll drop a quick tip to keep you rolling.
Yeah, I am. I'm hitting a snag. It's off.
Ooh, feeling the heat while wrestling with that GPU, huh? If it's not lining up or clicking into the PCIe slot, make sure the slot latch is open and the GPU is aligned straight. Sometimes it needs a firm but gentle push. If the case is feeling hot or cramped,
No.
maybe take
It's
a
not
quick
close.
break to let things cool off or
It's
check for airflow blockers.
it's not close. No, it's not close. You see, if I put this over here, does it line up? Maybe I'm lining it. No, to put it over here, where it's supposed to line up. Jeez.
Sounds like you're struggling to get that GPU lined up with the PCIe slot.
I
And it's
am.
just not cooperating, right?
That's exactly what's going on.
All right, let's start this GPU alignment mess.
I'm gonna try, maybe it goes into this other slot here. So I'm gonna pop it open. Maybe I pulled the wrong two off. I don't know.
No worries, it happens. If you think you might have popped off the wrong PCIe
Sure does.
check the case's layout again. Most GPUs go into the top PCIe X16 slot, closest to the CPU, but some cases have sneaky offsets. Pop open the latch on the slot you're eyeing, line up the GPU's gold contact, and give it a gentle push to see if it seats better. Need help figuring out if it's the right slot, or want a tip on double checking the GPU?
No, I got it from here. I'm just trying to do it without killing it, you know. Okay, so either this is going to go in properly or it is wrong.
Yeah, treating that GPU like it's fragile cargo, smart move. You're lining it up now, so just ease it into that PCIe X16 slot with a firm, even push until it clicks. You got this, but if it fights you, let me know what's up and I'll toss you a quick fix.
I think I just got it.
Sweet, sounds like you nailed it. The GPU clicked into that PCIe slot, right? Now just secure it with a screw to the case and check for any power connectors it needs. Usually 6 or 8 pin cables from the PSU. Want a quick tip on hooking those up, or are you good to keep going?
I'm still working on the case. Here.
Still tinkering with that case, huh? No rush, you're making it happen. If you're securing the GPU or sorting out the case setup, let me know if you need a tip on those power connectors.
You there? Oh,
Right here for you.
Okay.
Sounds like you're still wrestling with that case and GPU setup. Everything clicking into place now? Or need a quick tip to sort out the next step?
Now I'm getting the last screw there. And then it's, what, power supply?
Locking in that last GPU screw like a champ. Yeah, power supply is a solid next step. Hook up the PSU cables to the motherboard and GPU. Usually a 24 pin for the MOBO and a 6 or 8 pin for the GPU. Want a quick tip on picking the right cables or organizing them for a clean build?
In a minute. We got to unbox the power supply. Mm-hmm.
What's throwing you off now? Still on those PSU cables or
No,
something else active?
I'm still on the box. I'm still working on the box right now. Ooh, look at all this shit. Holy crap. Damn. Damn.
Sounds like you're elbow deep in the build box.
Wow.
Staring at a tangle of cables or parts. All 24-pin cable for the motherboard and the 6 or 8 pin for the GPU. Check your PSU's manual if the cables are playing hide and seek. Need a tip to tame that mess or sort out which cable goes where?
In a minute. I'm still getting it out of the bag here. Always full first.
Sounds like you're battling that PSU bag like it's got a personal vendetta. Once you wrestle it out, plug in the 24-pin cable to the motherboard and the 6 or 8 pin to the GPU. Check the labels to avoid mix-up. Want a quick trick to keep those cables organized, or are you good to keep unpacking the chaos?
I'm just trying to figure out where the power supply goes. Looks like it goes right over here.
Alright, you're ready to slot that power supply in. Most cases have a dedicated spot for the PSU, usually at the bottom or top rear. Check for a rectangular compartment with screw holes and a vented grill. Slide the PSU in with the fan facing the vent, usually down or out. Then secure it with the case screws. Need help spotting the exact spot or figuring out which way the fan should face?
Nope, I found that. I just got to move it around so I can get to the screws.
Nice, you tracked down the PSU spot. Just wiggle it into place so you can access the screw hole and line up the fan with the vent. Once it's set, you ready to start plugging in those cables to the motherboard and GPU, or need a quick tip on maneuvering it in there?
And once it's set, yeah. Okay. Now, that would be Spat Boys right here.
Calling this PSU cable Fat Boys, I love it.
No, that was calling the screws. I got.
24-pin and 8-pin cables can be a handful. Now that you've got the PSU in place, start by plugging the 24-pin into the motherboard's main power slot, usually near the edge, and then hook up the 6 or 8 pin to the
So I
GPU.
don't use hands-free mode.
Need a tip on wrestling those cables into place or keeping them tidy?
No, that's okay, thanks.
Alright, you're handling those Fat Boys like a pro. Keep plugging in those cables and let me know if you hit a snag or need a tip on the next step. Ready for that end of video plug whenever you wrap it up.
I haven't even finished putting in the power supply screws, so we're just taking it slow.
No rush. Those power supply screws can be a bit fiddly. Just take your time to line them up and secure the PSU to the case. Once that's done, you ready to tackle those cable connections, or want a quick tip on getting the screws in without a hassle?
Oh, I got them in. Hey, I got a question for you. There's a button on here that says Eco. What does that do?
Nice. PSU's locked in. The ECO button on the power supply, usually found on EVGA or similar models, controls the fan behavior. When ECO mode is on, the fan stays off during low to moderate loads, kicking in only when the PSU gets hot, like around 55°C, to save power and reduce noise. If you turn it off, the fan runs constantly at a low speed for consistent cooling, so it might be a tad louder. Want a quick suggestion on whether to keep it on or off for your setup?
Later, but thanks. I should probably install the case cables first, right?
You're on the right track. Yeah, before diving into the PSU cables, hook up the case cables.
All right.
Those front panel connectors like power switch, reset, and LED wires to the motherboard. Check your motherboard manual for the front panel header, usually near the bottom edge, to plug them in correctly.
Motherboard manual.
On decoding those tiny pins, or you got it from here?
Herein lies the rub. I don't have a motherboard manual. You are my motherboard manual. Okay.
Alright, let's play motherboard manual. For those front panel case cables, power switch, reset, LEDs, maybe a front USB or audio, look for a small pin header on the motherboard, usually near the bottom right edge.
Okay, I'm gonna do this one at a time. So I have the larger fan in the front of the case. What is the name of the header I'm looking for?
You're tackling those case cables one at a time. Nice. For the larger front case fan, you're looking for a fan header on the motherboard, usually labeled SYS fan or CHASA, followed by a number, like SYS fan 1 or CHASA
I'm close. I'm not sure. I can't even read these suckers down there. Jeez. Killing me, Smalls.
Those tiny labels on the motherboard can be a total pain to read. For that front case fan, you're hunting for a 3 or 4-pin header labeled SYS fan or CHA fan, often along the board's edge or near the bottom. Grab a flashlight or tilt the case to catch the light.
How about CHA fan 2? No, that's not it. That wouldn't be it. Okay. I've got a pump and CHA fan 2. That looks like the right kind of header. Oh,
You're coming in on it. The CHA FAN2 or pump fan header should work fine for your front case fan, as long as it's a 3 or 4-pin connector that matches your fan's plug. Those headers are usually interchangeable for case fans, though pump fan might be tuned for higher RPMs. Just plug the fan's connector into CHA fan2, making sure the pins align. There's usually a notch to guide you. Want a quick check on whether to use CHA fan2 or look for another header? Or are you good to plug it in?
Yeah, check and see if people do that.
You want me to check if folks typically use the CHA fan2 or pump fan header for a front case fan, right?
Yeah, well, hang on a second. I think I found something else here. What do we got here?
No worries. Sounds like you're digging through the build and stumbled on something. What's catching your eye? Another cable, a different header, or something else in the case?
Another header. And I'm trying to. Looks like I found. Well, it's hard to read, but it looks like CHA fan 1. That's what I want.
Nice. You tracked down CHA fan 1. That's perfect. That header's ideal for your front case fan, 3 or 4 pins, just like CHA fan 2, but probably closer to where you need it. Plug in the fan's connector, aligning the notch to avoid bending pins, and you're good. Ready to move on to the next case cable, or need a quick tip on securing that connection?
Yeah. It's way down here. Hard to get your fingers down there to do anything. Holy mackerel.
Yeah, those headers tucked way down there can be a real finger twister. For CHA fan 1, try using a small screwdriver or your fingertips to gently guide the fan's connector onto the pin.
I got it. Okay. All right, so now we got the back fans of the two little guys in the back.
Awesome, you're making solid progress.
Yeah,
For those two smaller back case fans, you'll need to find more fan headers on the motherboard, likely labeled CHA fan or SYS fan 2, maybe CHA fan 3 or SYS fan 2, since you already use CHA fan 1. They're usually 3 or 4-pin headers near the board's edges. Check if your fan's connectors match and plug them in carefully, aligning the notches. Need help spotting those headers or a tip on managing the cables for those back fans?
Yeah, but I can run those two fans into a Y and go into CHA fan 2, correct?
Yeah, exactly. You can totally use a Y splitter to connect both back fans to the CHA fan 2 header, as long as the header's power rating supports both fans. Most modern ones handle it fine. Just plug the Y splitter into CHA fan 2 and connect the two fan cables to the splitter, making sure the pins line up. Want a quick tip on checking the power draw or keeping those cables tidy?
Well, I'm not even close to power drop. And tidy? I've got zip ties.
Love the vibe zip ties ready to tame that cable chaos. Since you're good with the Y splitter for those back fans into CHA fan 2, just plug them in and start bundling those cables with the zip ties to keep things neat. Ready to move on to another case cable or maybe the PSU connections next? Or are you still sorting
Nose is running. That's what I'm dealing with. Okay, now what do we got here? We got looks like a little LED. It's got LED.
Battling a runny nose and building a PC, you're a multitasker. All right, that little LED you found is likely for the case's front panel.
It is. And it says, how, what does it say? Something, oh, power LED is the yellow one. Okay. I got the power one.
Nice. You found the power LED cable for the case's front panel. That'll light up when the system's on. Look for the front panel header on the motherboard, usually a set of pins labeled F panel or similar, often near the bottom right edge. Check the motherboard's pinout diagram, or I can guide you to plug the power LED cable into the right plus and minus pins. Want a quick rundown on where to stick it, or you can
Hey, you tell me where to stick it. Nice. Oh, that's too good. Okay, so.
You're loving the progress, I can tell. So, you're on that power LED cable now. Just find the F panel header on the motherboard, usually a small grid of pins near the bottom right.
Yeah, I found it. Found it. Power LED, and it looks like there. Yeah. I better. It's not really clear on how they want this. It's not really clear.
No worries. Those front panel headers can be tricky to decipher. Since you got the power LED cable and found the F panel header, check the motherboard for tiny plus and minus labels next to the pins.
I see it now. I see it now. Okay. Hard drive LED. That's if I'm using an external hard drive. Right now, I'm only using the 2 terabyte drive that we mounted on there, the SSD. So I don't need the power one. So I can plug this guy in to the power one and not get in the way. We got plus
Nice.
one.
You're locking in on those details. For the hard drive LED, that's actually for any storage drive activity, like your 2 terabyte SSD, not just external drive. It'll blink when the SSD is reading or writing. So you'll want to plug that hard drive LED cable into the F panel header on the motherboard, usually right next to the power LED pin. Check for a plus and minus labeled pin pair marked HDD, LED, or similar. You're not skipping the power LED though. Both the power LED and HDD LED should connect to the F panel to show power status and drive activity. Want me to walk you through the exact pin placement for both? Are you feeling good about plugging that HDD LED in?
I'm not even there yet. I'm just getting the power one in right now. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Power LED is on. This one should be, it's saying HDD LED. Okay, so that's for an external hard drive that I don't have right now. Or is there a place on the motherboard that shows when the SSD is on?
You're doing great with that power LED hooked up. The HDD LED isn't just for external drives. It'll show activity, like reading or writing, for your internal 2 terabyte SSD too. Look for the F panel header where you plug the power LED, usually near the bottom right of the motherboard. You'll see a pair of pins labeled HDD LED or similar, with minus and minus marks. Plug the HDD LED cable into those, matching the plus and minus on the cable to the pins.
All right.
If you skip it, you won't see your SSD's activity light up on the case,
All
but
right.
it won't hurt functionality.
You
Want
got
a quick guide on finding those HDD LED pins, or are you ready to plug it in?
I found them. I'm ready to plug it in.
Sweet.
I'm ready. I don't know if my fingers are, but oh.
Those pins can be a real test for the fingers. All right, since you found the HDD LED pins on the F panel header, just gently push the HDD LED cable onto the minus and minus pins, matching the cable labels to the motherboard. Go slow to avoid bending anything.
Okay.
Want it plugged in next, or need a quick trick to make those tiny pins easier to handle?
I got them in. Okay, so that's that. Got those. I have a switch. Some kind of switch. This is a reset switch. Something I don't want to touch.
Nice. You got the HDD LED plugged in. Crushing it. Okay, so you're looking at the reset switch cable now. And yeah, it can feel like a proceed with caution moment. The reset switch is safe to hook up. It just connects to the S panel header on the motherboard, usually right next to the power LED and HDD LED pins. Look for a pair of pins labeled reset or RST-SW.
Got it. I got it. Okay. Now I got this big old thing here right there. What is that? Oh, USB. Okay. So that looks like it's gonna go.
Yo, you're tearing through those front panel cables. All right, that big old USB cable is likely for the case's front USB port. Look for a rectangular header on the motherboard labeled USB or SUSB, usually near the S panel or along the bottom edge. It's typically a 9 or 10 pin block for USB 2.0 or a larger 19 pin for USB 3.0. Match the cable connector to the header and push it in gently, making sure the notch aligns to avoid forcing it. Need help spotting the right USB header or a tip on double checking the fit?
I think I found it, but it's not labeled what you're saying. It's labeled U32G1 underscore 1011. Thinking about it.
Nice catch. You're on top of it. The U32G1 underscore 1011 header is likely your motherboard's USB 3.2 Gen 1 header, sometimes just called USB 3.0, for the front panel USB port. That's the right spot for your case's USB 3.0 cable, which should have a 19 pin connector. Just line up the cable's plug with the header. There's usually a notch or missing pin to ensure it only fits one way, and push it in gently but firmly. Want a quick tip on making sure it's seated properly or moving to the next cable?
Hammer, right?
Haha, whoa, you calling for a hammer now? I'm guessing you're joking, but if you're feeling stuck with that USB 3.2 Gen 1 header, U32G1 underscore 1011, or another part of the build, let's sort it out before you start swinging. The USB cable should just click into that header with a gentle push. Check the notch to make sure it's aligned. If you're talking about something else, like another cable or a snap, give me a quick hint of what's up, and I'll keep you on track.
Yeah, I was kidding with a hammer. I am looking for the power switch. I know it's down here. There it is. It is on the other side of reset, and that is good. So we got a plus and minus on there. Power switch doesn't say. So just connection doesn't matter. Don't matter.
Haha, glad you left the hammer in the tool bag.
Yeah.
Nice find on the power switch
The
cable.
only tool I have in there.
The power switch typically goes right near the reset switch on the S panel header, and it usually doesn't have a plus or minus because it works either way. Look for a pair of pins labeled PWR SW or power
But then
SW.
it's in. It's already in. All of the case is hooked up. Okay. Now it's a matter of. Let me think here. Hooking up the power supply. Let me get one of them big old fat cables here.
You're killing it, getting all those case cables hooked up.
Hey,
All right.
look at this.
Now you're onto the power supply. Grab that chunky 24-pin cable
Room
from
for
the CFU.
expansion.
All right, let's dive back in. You're ready to hook up that power supply with the big old 24-pin cable for the motherboard. Look for the long, rectangular 24-pin slot on the motherboard, usually near the right edge, labeled ATX or ATX PWR. Line up the cable's clip with the slot's notch and push it in firmly until it clicks. Then, check for a 4+4 pin or 8-pin CPU power connector near the top left of the motherboard and plug that in too. Need a tip on managing those cables or finding the exact slots?
Maybe. Oh, here we go. It says MB. That must be the motherboard.
Nice. You found the cable labeled MB. That's likely the 24-pin ATX power cable for the motherboard. Just plug it
No. Okay, so that I probably have it bass backwards. There we go. That is probably here. Oh yeah, I had it bass backwards, and there's two plugs that go into the actual power supply. MB is one of them. Okay, now it'll fit. Okay, and that goes there. They both say MB, so I'm left there. This is CPU one. That must be my motherboard.
All right, you're sorting through those PSU cables like a champ. Since you've got two cables labeled NB, it sounds like they're both for the motherboard. Likely the 24-pin ATX and maybe an extra for another build or mislabeled. The one marked CPU1 is probably the 4 plus 4 pin or 8 pin for the motherboard CPU power, not a separate motherboard. Look for a square 8 pin or 4 plus 4 pin slot near the top left of your motherboard, usually labeled CPU PWR or EPS 12B, and plug the CPU1 cable there.
No, the two cables that I have plug in are it's a Y. One comes from the motherboard and two of them plug into the power supply. One plugs into the bigger one plugs into one that says MB and the other one's right next to it and is not labeled, which is wonderful. But it's 5 pins and the other one's 5 pins, so it's labeled sort of way. Okay. Motherboard is connected. Okay. So we do not need any of the. Oh wait, I gotta hook up something to this big old GPU here. I think I need one of these things. Pretty sure. You got different links. They're all incredibly long. They're all incredibly long. Okay. Here we go. So imagine the top connector on the GPU is what I use.
Right. You're diving into the CPU power connector now. The top connector on the motherboard for the CPU is usually an 8-pin or 4.4-pin slot, often labeled CPU PWR or EPS 12B, located near the top left by the CPU socket.
Dude,
Grab the PSU cable labeled CPU.
hang on.
CPU.
I did not know that you had to grab the cable named CPU because I grabbed a VGA cable and luckily enough it didn't fit, or I probably would have used it. Okay, so I'm looking for CPU.
Close call dodging that VGA cable mix-up. No harm done. Glad it didn't fit. You're looking for the PSU cable labeled CPU or EPS, usually a 4.4-pin or 8-pin connector to plug into the motherboard's CPU power slot near the top left.
Okay, I got a question for you. It's kind of split into two different pieces on one side. It's like 4 and 4. I mean, I know that's 8 and everything. Is it any particular side one of them goes into?
Good catch on that 4.4-pin CPU power cable. For the motherboard CPU power slot, usually an 8-pin labeled CPU PWR or EPS 12B near the top left. It doesn't matter which of the two 4-pin halves goes into which side of the slot. They're designed to work together as a single 8-pin, so just line up the clips and notches and push them in firmly until they clip. If your motherboard only needs a 4-pin, you can use just one half, but most modern boards take the full 8-pin. Want a quick double check on the slot, or ready to plug it in?
No. I think we got the wrong idea here, okay? I'm hooking up the GeForce RTX GPU. What will the cable say?
Alright, let's pivot to that GeForce RTX GPU. The power cable for your GPU from the PSU is usually labeled PSCI, VGA, or sometimes just PCI, and it's typically a 6-pin, 8-pin, or 6 plus 2-pin connector, depending on your RTX model. Check the GPU side for a power input slot and match it with the corresponding PSU cable. Ensure the clip aligns and clicks in. Want help figuring out how many pins your specific RTX GPU needs or spotting the right cable?
That's CPU. I don't want that. How about we got?
All right,
I've got a question for you. Um, some of these VGA cables have a Y on them.
Nice. You're diving into those VGA cables for the GeForce RTX GPU.
Yeah.
Some VGA cables, often labeled PSCI or PCI on the PSU, come with a 6+2 pin design, where the extra 2 pin can detach or attach to fit either a 6-pin or 8-pin slot on your GPU.
Question. I got a question for you though. I have one that I've got a cable that says VGA, and it has another cable coming off of it that says VGA. So is that for just another one plugged in next to it?
Okay, you're looking at a PSU cable labeled VGA with another one branching off marked VGA, right?
Yes.
The VGA cable is likely your standard PSCI power cable for the GPU, probably a 6+2 pin or 8-pin. The VGA cable sounds like a secondary connector, possibly a typo, or a specific PSU branding, but it's probably another PSCI power cable meant for GPUs that need multiple power inputs, like your GeForce RTX. Check your GPU for how many power slots it has. Most RTX models need 1 or 2 8-pin connectors. If it has 2 slots, plug both the VGA and VGA cables into the GPU's power input, matching the pins 6 or 8. Want me to help confirm how many connectors your specific RTX model needs, or guide you on plugging them in?
I just plugged them in. Now, so now, do I plug it into VGA1?
Nice, you got those GPU power cables plugged in. If you're seeing a header or slot labeled VGA1 on your motherboard, that's likely not for the GPU power cable.
It's on the power supply. It's on the power supply. Do I want to plug the GPU into VGA1 on the power supply?
Got it. You're talking about the VGA1 port on the power supply. Yes, plug the GPU's power cable, likely the one labeled VGA or PSCI from your PSU, into the VGA1 port on the power supply. If your GeForce RTX needs 2 connectors, like 2 8-pin or 6+2-pin cables, use VGA1 for one, and another VGA or PSCI labeled port, like VGA2 or VGA for the second. Just match the pins and ensure a firm click. Need a quick check on how many power connectors your GPU needs? You're good to go.
Yeah, check on it. I see one, but
Alright, let's sort out those power connectors for your GeForce RTX GPU. You mentioned seeing one power input on the GPU. Can you let me know the specific RTX model you're working with? Like RTX 3060, 3070, 3080, or something newer like a 4080 or 5090?
well,
That'll help me confirm
close.
exactly how many and what type
You
of
got
power
it.
connectors you need.
You got it surrounded. You got it surrounded. It's a 4070.
Haha, got that RTX 4070 surrounded and ready to roll. For the GeForce RTX 4070, it typically needs one 8-pin PCIe power connector from the power supply, though some models might use a single 12V HPWR connector, a newer 16-pin standard for high-end GPUs. Since you mentioned plugging in a VGA labeled cable and saw one power input, you're likely good with a single 8-pin or 6+2-pin cable you plugged into the VGA1 port on the PSU. Double check that the GPU's power slot is fully connected with a firm clip. If your RTX 4070 has the 12V HPWR port instead, you might need an adapter, usually included with the GPU, to convert 2 8-pin PSU cables to the 16-pin.
Okay, I got a
Will
question.
guide you on checking the GPU's power slot or moving to the next step, like hooking up the PSU to the motherboard?
The PSU is already hooked up to the motherboard. Everything is hooked up to the motherboard. Everything's ready, except the power. I need a power cable. But question, on computers, I know you could do it on like tube amps and that kind of thing. Use a variac, and run the thing up and see if you got any problems. That's not a good idea on these, right?
You're in the home stretch with everything hooked up to the motherboard. Nice work. Now you just need that power cable. And I'm assuming you mean the main AC power cord from the wall to the PSU, right? Just grab a standard IEC C13 power cord, the one that looks like a kettle cord, and plug it into the back of your PSU. As for your question about using a variac to slowly ramp up power like you might with other electronics, yeah, that's not a good idea for modern PCs. Computer PSUs are designed to work at a specific voltage, usually 100 to 140 VAC, depending on your region, and they have built-in circuits to handle power delivery. Using a variac to undervolt or gradually increase the power can mess with the PSU's regulation, potentially causing unstable power delivery, damage to components like the motherboard or GPU, or even preventing the system from booting properly. It's safer to just plug the PSU directly into a stable power source, ideally with a good surge protector. Want me to double check anything about that power cord setup or give you a quick tip on what to do next before you hit the power button?
Nah, that's all right. I'm looking at what I got here. Looks like these VGA out here. Outputs. HDMI. There we go. That's what I was looking for. What the hell these are?
Nice. You're scoping out the GPU outputs now. Yeah, that GeForce RTX 4070 should have a few HDMI and DisplayPort outputs on the back for your monitor. Since you found the HDMI, you're probably set to connect your display. Just plug in an HDMI cable from the GPU to your monitor, and you're good for video output when you power on. Want a quick tip on setting up the display, or ready to grab that AC power cord and fire this beast up?
Well, I figured I'd fire it up after it's hooked up to the monitor.
Solid plan. Yeah, hooking up the monitor first is the way to go. Since you've got that HDMI cable ready for the RTX 4070, plug it into the monitor and the GPU's HDMI port. Then grab that AC power cord, the standard IEC C13, and connect it to the PSU. Once that's done, you're ready to hit the power button and see this rig come to life.
Yeah.
Want a quick checklist before you fire
It's
it up? Or
alive.
you feel good about it?
All right. Actually, I feel pretty good about it. You want to wrap it up here?
Love the confidence. You're killing it. All right. With the HDMI hooked up to the RTX 4070 and the AC power cord ready for the PSU, you're all set to hit that power button. Just double check that all cables are snug and nothing's blocking the fans, then fire it up.
Okay. No, we're gonna quit right now. We're gonna quit the YouTube video right now.
All right. Wrapping it up, huh?
Yep.
When you're ready to close out the video, just say, "Okay, well that's enough," and I'll slide in with, "If you enjoyed
Okay,
this
that's
video,
enough. Okay, that's enough.
if you enjoyed this video, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe for more awesome builds."
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. All right. And then we'll get back together when we get it done.
With the build and the video. Need any quick post-build tips for the next step? Like BIOS setup or testing the rig? Are you good for now?
Oh, we're good for now. I gotta shut it down, and then we're gonna move everything, cameras and all that junk. And thank you, everybody. See you in a few.